Join me, your host Langwan Leslie, on Life Matters. On today's episode, guys, we are continuing with the part 3, I think, of the video on my faith journey, or how I left the church. And if this is your first time, make sure to go watch the other part of this series so you don't miss out on anything. Read the notification bell so that when the next part comes up, you will not miss out. Subscribe if you've not done so. And guys, if this is your first time for stopping by and you feel like you struggle you struggle about things like faith, God, church, and everything, and this is something like I feel like that nobody would actually tell me that they would not have to like encounter something about the church, the faith, religion, and all of that. There is just so much controversy around that subject matter. And to me, if you ask me, the answer I got was when I decided to leave the church. The answer I got was when I was able to take that step of faith and get into a place where I could understand God for myself in a deeper level. I could get my answers directly. I could be able to read the Bible detailedly, worship, and all those things. Like, that was my breakthrough, guys. That was just my breakthrough. So today I'm going to continue with the part 3 of this video, and on this part 3 I'm going to be talking about how and when I left the church. Okay, I know in the previous video I already mentioned that I left in 2023 when my marriage failed. Yeah, that was the starting point of my leaving, but I had to move. And to me, I know it's kind of like difficult to know that I had to get to this place for me to realize that I needed God. Who knows? Maybe if I don't know. Like I sometimes I just think deep, and I'm like, this maybe the kind of difficulties I had to encounter in life wouldn't have been the same if I knew Christ, if I knew God the way I knew, if I wasn't playing church, if I wasn't like looking up to church, not up to God. So guys, that said, what happened had already happened, and I was in that place where even if I regretted so many things, it would not change anything. I had lost everything I owned. I had to go back to my own region and begin life all over. I didn't know where to start from. I didn't know what to do. But after like a few weeks, I knew in my heart that I had to seek God first. There were so many questions that were yet to be answered, but the first question that I thought needed answer was my relationship with Christ. And so that was what I did. Few days after, or a week or so after I came back, I decided to confront my brother, or meet my brother, and tell him, you know what, I have decided to know Christ. Tell me about it. Just lead me to Christ. And I'm grateful to God, because that same time when I came back, my parents, we had a discussion with my parents, and especially my mom and my brothers and sisters, and we were talking deep. Like, we just looked at our life. It wasn't working. Things weren't working, which is why sometimes even when I had difficulties with my ex-husband, it's just a continuation. It's just, for me, sitting now, I'm just like, it's just a continuation. Whoever has offended me in life, sometimes I just look at them and I'm like, the enemy is using you guys. This is not happening. This is not human. I remember a verse in the Bible that says, we do not wrestle flesh and blood. We wrestle principalities and powers and forces of darkness in high places and heavenly places. So sometimes when people even target us, we have to be able to see past what is happening in the physical and see what has transpired in the spiritual. So guys, not to get off the topic of discussion, I decided to take that bold step and then get into the church and begin a faith all over. And guys, when I made that step of faith, when I made my choice to get deep in my faith, I needed to be in a place where people were like-minded. Like, I needed to be in a place of like-minded people who reason the same way with me now in my new faith, people who had experience in that new faith, who knew what they were doing in that faith, and who were going to be with me on the same page. People who could be able to educate me, help me grow in my faith. And that is what I decided when I decided to join the Full Gospel Church back then, and started my journey. I got baptized by immersion, and yeah, those are some of the things I did. Yeah, and from there everything kicked off, guys. It has been amazing. The last part of this video is the result of me leaving the church, so I'll just join them together because it's needless to make another part for this video. So guys, the result of me leaving has been amazing, and the result of me leaving is part of the reason why I'm able to do this video today, because believe me, I think I wouldn't have been here if I didn't make that choice. I don't think I would be here. You might have survived, you know, up to 60 something years, 100 years, and you think you will never want to like associate with God or whatever. That is your choice, that is your decision. But I feel like looking at my life when I didn't know Christ, when I persecuted Christ, when I persecuted the church, and looking at my life now, there has been, and a shift, a huge shift, you know. Because sometimes I even take my pictures and I look at them. I take the situations like and I've had trials, you know, tribulations, even after I gave my life to Christ, even after I became deeper in my faith. But still, it can never compare to what I went through before. No matter how big it is, just knowing that I could pray, like I can pray, or just knowing that I can pray now better, I can read the word and understand better, I can be ministered to by the Spirit of God, and all of that has made a deep impression on me, you know. So and one of the things that happened to me, I think that's a different series or a different video, is that when I gave my life to Christ, when I left the church or stopped playing church, there are immense and heavy things that happened to me. There were testimonies that I went through, or there have been testimonies that I've had to experience that have blown my mind, you know. There are answers to questions. Like I've had situations where I've also experienced instant answers to prayers, you know. So I'm crying. I'm just sitting here and I'm calling out on anybody who is like going out to share their faith and they're like meeting people who do not want to listen to them. Please hold your peace. It's not about you. The Bible says, consider yourself as somebody who is watering. Consider yourself as planting a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't just see the result instantly. It grows. People planted seed in my life, guys. Even though I was in that position where I used to like drive people away when they come to talk to me about Christ. I persecuted my brother, persecuted people who knew Christ. I gossiped about them. I laughed about them. Like we laughed in church. Sometimes we even said it in church when we went to church. They were like, what are those ones doing? Like, what do they think they are? I remember there was a Pentecostal church close to us. When they sing, they hit drums and all of that, we'll always say something, you know, and in the negative. But if you are out there trying to share your faith and people are like, it's like some sort of persecution, please don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Don't become weary. The Bible says, Paul planted, Apollo watered, but it is God who changes. It is God who gives that transformation. It is the Spirit of God that transforms the heart of man. You know, so many people told me about Christ, so many people preached to me, but I didn't change until it was time when I decided to change. Yes, so we are not going to force people to become Christ followers, but we tell them that we share our story. We share them, we tell them how it has impacted us. You know, if somebody had told me years back that I would be sitting here and talking about Christ and talking about all these things, I would have been on that person's head. Like, I feel like I was that kind of person that grew up and was never disrespectful, but would disrespect anybody that came to tell me about Christ. Just imagine. Yeah. So I will not disrespect people who sometimes even treat me badly. I will be like, oh, I don't want to disrespect them. But still, I disrespected when it came to Christ. Why? You know, it's just so funny. But I thank God for where I am, and I'm so grateful that I get to share this, and maybe somebody will be watching who is also struggling and will be empowered by this. If it is not concerning you guys, please make sure you share the video. You don't know who is going to be touched by the video. I always tell you guys, when we do videos and it doesn't resonate with you, it's okay, but you know people that you could also share with them and it can impact their lives. If there is something else that you want to hear in my faith journey, please leave it in the comment section. I'm going to be happy to share. And if you have something that you want to share with us, also leave it in the comment section. Please, guys, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you've not done so yet. Hit the notification bell, guys. Don't forget. And I love you guys so much. See you in our next video. Bye for now.